this project, I'm using DK yarn with the 3.5mm crochet hook and the 6.5mm crochet hook, so we need both of them. You can use Aran yarn if you want the piece to be thicker, but of course it's also going to be heavier. Scissors, yarn needle, measuring tape. If you are a beginner, I recommend having one stitch marker. I'm using bobby pin here. And we need some clippers. As long as you can put like 2 pieces of crochet fabric, thick fabric together like this, it should be good. These are optional. If you like, you can get some of these raw pads. These are actually perfect, but if you got something a little big, we can easily trim them, so you don't have to worry about the size too much. Also, we need sewing thread and needle. If you like, you can have some fabric ribbon, and we're gonna use this as the drawstring for the piece. This lace one is really cute, but it's actually not very ideal as drawstring because it's this texture is not very smooth for that purpose. So the simpler one would be better. If you are as clumsy as me at hand sewing, then here are the things that I find really helpful. So you're gonna need some two-sided tape. It will help you to position these pads on the crochet cup without distorting the fabric. I have some pre-cut clothing two-sided tape, but you can just use this regular one. And also, this is very important, you should have this seam ripper. If anything happens, you can use this to remove the stitches and redo the thing, right? We are making the cups with the 3.5mm crochet hook, and the pattern for all the sizes will be the same from the beginning until you see the instruction for each sizes in the pattern on the screen. So let's all start with a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2 double crochet into this first chain. So for a double crochet, we yarn over, insert the hook in the first chain, and we want to take the little bump behind that chain too. Instead of just one loop of the chain like that, take like so, okay? Then yarn over, bring our loop. With 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, a double crochet. Now another one, yarn over, insert the hook in the same place, bring our loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, so what we have here is the very first row with 3 stitches. So the chain in the beginning, this one we call and treat as 1 double crochet stitch. So I have 1, 2, 3 stitches. Okay, now let's turn the work from the right to the left, and then we begin the second row with a chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now normally working with double crochet, we are going to work the first double crochet into the second stitch. Because we already have this chain, count as 1 double crochet on top of this stitch, right? So if you work a stitch into this first stitch, that would be an increasing. And that's exactly what we want here. So that's why we're gonna double crochet into this first stitch, okay? Like so. And here in this very first stitch, we have 2 stitches, this beginning chain or turning chain, and this double crochet that we just did, okay? Now in this second stitch, we're gonna work a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet in the same place, okay? So a double crochet into this second stitch, okay? And then a chain 1, and then another double crochet in the same place, like so, okay? And then for beginner, I recommend you marking this chain 1 space between the 2 stitches. It's actually very easy to tell, but if it's hard for you, you can just put the stitch marker right there in between the stitches, or the chain one space right there, right? Okay. If it's obvious for you, the chain one space, then you don't need to mark it. Now we're gonna work only one stitch into this last stitch, which is the begin chain of the previous row, right? And you see right here in the stitch that we just worked in, this loop next to it, which is the third chain of this chain 3, you can just insert the hook right in there. It may be a little tight, but just insert the hook right in there, okay? All right, so for double crochet, we need to yarn over, insert the hook like so, and okay, if you can take 2 loops, it would be better. So like that, okay? And double crochet. Okay, now turn the work and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. So if you want this third chain to be a little easier to insert the hook, you can actually enlarge this last chain a little bit, like just a little bit larger than the others, and it's just gonna make it easier to insert the hook in the next row. Okay, so now on this row we're gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna increase in this very first stitch, so we double crochet in the first stitch. And so we have 2 stitches there in the very first stitch, and then 1 double crochet into this next stitch. Okay, in the chain 1 space, you're gonna work a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet. So that's a double crochet, a chain 1, and then a double crochet in the same chain 1 space. Okay, so if the chain 1 space it's obvious for you, you don't need to mark it, but if it's not, then mark it and you will know where you need to make this double crochet, chain 1, double crochet increasing, right? Now we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of these stitches, right? So this next stitch next to the chain 1 space, sometimes this stitch will overlay this double crochet, this V on top of this double crochet, and you may skip it and work into this stitch next to it, but be careful, you just pull this stitch a little bit and then you will see that stitch, right? Double crochet into that one. All right, double crochet into this one. Okay, and then double crochet into this chain 3, the turning chain or the begin chain, which we count as a double crochet. So you see this loop right there, you insert the hook right under it and try to take the loop next to it too. So you take 2 loops like that, right? Okay, so a double crochet in there. All right, that's how it should look like, and right now you should have 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? And we're gonna repeat pretty much the same thing. Let's turn the work, chain 3, and then again double crochet in this very first stitch. Okay? 1 double crochet in each stitch across until you get to the chain 1 space. So there's 1 more stitch until this chain 1 space. Double crochet in the chain 1 space, we do a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet. All right, and then in this next one, this one, find a V on top of it. Okay, yarn over, insert the hook, bring out a loop, and double crochet. And then this one, this next one, double crochet, double crochet, and again into this chain in the beginning, the third chain, insert the hook, try to take 2 loops, and double crochet. Okay, On this row, we should have 11 stitches. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay? Basically, we increase 3 stitches on each row for this beginning part of the pattern. 1 increase in this first stitch and then 2 increase in the chain 1 space, right? Let's do this one more time in the next row. Chain 3, double crochet in this first stitch. Okay, double crochet into each stitch across. Like so. Make sure you don't skip any stitches, okay? Then in this chain 1 space, you do a double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet. Alright, so for me it's pretty obvious when I get to this chain 1 space, but if not, just put the stitch marker on it so you know when you get there. Okay, then in this next stitch, just right on top of the body of the stitch, you find the V shape on top of it to insert the hook, right? And work double crochet in each stitch all the way until the end of the row. And then in that last stitch, which is the chain, right? So yeah, it will be best if you count the number of stitches after each row. If you are confident, you don't need to, but just to make sure, count it, okay? Now we're gonna repeat the exact same thing for a few more rows, and that's when it's a little bit different for each size. Please follow the written pattern on the screen. So now we're gonna turn the work, and on this next row we're gonna work single crochet. For single crochet, the turning chain or the begin chain of the row would be a chain 1, like so. And unlike the double crochet, this chain does not count as a stitch or a single crochet. So we're always gonna work in the first stitch, and it is not an increasing, okay? Let's work a single crochet into this very first stitch, this one, okay? Insert the hook, bring our loop, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops, like so. That's the very first single crochet, right? Now another one into this next stitch, insert the hook, bring our loop, yarn over, pull through. And so we single crochet into each stitch across all the way until the chain 1 space, and I will meet you there to show you how it's like. Okay, so here we are. I have 1 stitch until I reach this chain 1 space. We're gonna work another single crochet in that stitch, and then we gonna ignore this chain 1 space and work into the next double crochet stitch, like so. And then just single crochet into each stitch across all the way until the end. We have 2 stitches left. This last double crochet, just work in there, and then in this chain 3, which does count as a stitch for the double crochet row, right? So we need to work another single crochet in there, like so, okay? So now you will see that the edge is curled up a little, like so. That's just because the single crochet is a little tighter than the double crochet, and also we skip the chain 1 space. But now if you count the number of single crochet stitches, so count from this V, make sure you don't count this chain. It's actually look like just a little bump here, so not that. From this one, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and all the way until the end we should have this exact same number of stitches as the previous row, as this previous double crochet row, right? Okay, now we're gonna do the exact same thing for the next row. You turn the work and chain 1, and of course a single crochet into this first stitch, and it is not an increasing, right, because we don't count the chain 1 as a stitch, and then another single crochet in the next stitch, and then just single crochet along the row all the way until the end, and I'll meet you there to show you one more time how it's like, okay? And here I have 2 stitches left, as you can see. Now just single crochet into each of them, like so. And again, if you want, you can count the number of stitches you have on this row, and it still should be the same as the previous one, okay? And then we turn the work, chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch and each stitch across all the way until the end of the row, and we're gonna repeat the same thing for a few more rows, and the number of rows is gonna be a little different for each sizes. So please follow the written pattern on the screen. And also, if you are a beginner, you may find it a little bit harder to count the number of single crochet rows compared to this double crochet. It's a little less distinctive. So you can actually just stretch it a little like this, and the single crochet rows are between these little visible holes, lines of holes like this. So here we have 3 single crochet row, 1 2 3, right? So just stretch it and you will see. This one is the double crochet row. Here's the first single crochet row. Yeah, there. Maybe this will be easier, okay? So 1 2 3. We may have different number of rows or stitches, but in overall it should look like this. It may curl up a little like that, but as long as the shape is fine and you have the right number of stitches, it should be good. Now to bind off, we are going to chain 1 and bring our big loop and then cut, but leave it long enough till to weave in later, all right? And then you are going to create the second cup the exact same way, and you can rewind the video if you need. Next, we are going to take the second yarn color and we are going to make a number of chains. This number depends on the size you are working on, so please follow the number on the screen. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Once you have this chain, we are going to start working single crochet into this bottom row of the cup, right? So let's start here in the stitch where this tail sticking out, right? Just insert the hook right in there. Make sure that the working yarn is behind the hook. Then insert your hook in the first stitch like so. And then for a single crochet, just yarn over, pull out a loop with 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through. And that's a single crochet, right? Now you are just going to single crochet into each stitch across, like so. Okay, just insert the hook under a V, on top of the stitch, under the V, one by one, and I will meet you when we get to the other side of the row, somewhere here. Okay, as you can see here, I'm at the end of the row and I have 1 stitch left, that one last V left, right? So here we are going to work single crochet into this stitch and the first stitch of the next cup, this one, right? So you just insert the hook in that last stitch and then insert it in this first single crochet, the very first V on the other cup, like so. Okay, and then with the working yarn, bring our loop through both stitches and then just yarn over it and pull through. Okay, again we're going to work single crochet into each stitch across, and be careful, do not work another stitch in this first stitch, right? Because we already work this stitch in there, but it kind of got dragged to the right, so you may work another stitch in there, which you don't want. So just find the next V shape and single crochet. Okay, and then just single crochet into each stitch, and I will meet you by the end of the row, somewhere here, to show you how it's like. So here I have 2 stitches left. As you can see, let's work single crochet in each of them, this last one, like so. Okay, and then we are going to again make another number of chains. This will depend on the size we are working on, but basically is this number of chain that you made in the first place plus 2 chains. Okay, so let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once you have this chain, we are going to double crochet into the 5th chain. So counting from this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So this one, we're going to double crochet in there, like so, right? And then we're gonna make a chain 1, skip 1 chain, work double crochet in the next chain. All right, and repeat that. Chain 1, skip 1 chain, work double crochet in the next chain. Okay, one more time. Chain 1, skip a chain, work in the next chain, and repeat that all the way until we near the cup section. Chain 1, skip a chain, work in the next chain, chain 1. I'm closer to the cup, and if you see it twisting like this, we can just untwist it and you will see the V shape more clearly, like so. Okay, then so just repeat the same thing. Chain 1, skip a chain, work, drop double crochet in the next chain. Okay, and chain 1, skip a chain, work in the next chain. All right, and we should have 1 chain left, like so. We are going to chain 1 and double crochet in the first single crochet stitch of this cup, right? And that's how it should look like. Okay, now we actually do the exact same thing, just chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, like so. Chain 1, skip a stitch, work in the next stitch, and repeat that all the way until the end of the row. It's the same here in between, and I'll meet you here by the end, okay? Okay, so this is how it should look like, and here I have just a few stitches left. Chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. Alright, and then here we're gonna do the exact same thing we did on the other chain. Chain 1, skip a chain, work in the next chain, and you may see the back of the chain is facing us, so you can just twist it slightly like that. Bring the front up facing us so that it's easier to work in, like that. You may see that the first chain got tightened a little bit because maybe we just put a little bit too much tension on the first single crochet of the row. The chain is looks a little bit tighter than the others, so be careful not to miss it. So we'll skip this one and work in this next one. Okay, so chain 1, skip that chain, work in the next chain, like so. Okay, chain 1, skip a chain, work in the next chain. Okay, chain 1, skip a chain, work in the next chain. So I will meet you by the end of the chain. So here I am by the end of the chain. Let's chain 1, skip a chain, work in the next chain, and with 2 chains left, we chain 1, skip a chain, work double crochet in the last chain. Okay, this is how, and that's how this should look like. So now we are going to switch back to the main yarn color. Traditionally, we can make a loop like that with the yarn and then slide it into this loop. You fasten the previous yarn and then you tie the tail of the new yarn with the previous working yarn, like so. Just fasten it and you will have this new yarn to work with. But I will show you a little trick that I like to do, because with that traditional way to switch yarn color, you will have 2 more ends to weave in. So I like to use the magic knot to just join this new yarn and make it change color right where I want it to be. You should be familiar with the magic knot before you do this. So if you've never worked with the magic knot before, you may want to practice a few times. Basically, for magic knot, we will need like a little bit of extra yarn. So I would just estimate it, how much yarn I need. So from where I want the yarn to chain, I will leave a little bit of yarn, just enough for me to make one of the knot of the magic knot. Cut it right there. And then I will pull some of the stitches out, so that's easier for me to do the knot. And so I make the knot and estimate the yarn tail that I approximated. So yeah, that should be good. It doesn't have to be precise. Yeah. And then with this one, we just tie the knot like so. Okay. Make sure that they both are fastened really tight. And then we cut these 2 ends not too close to the knot, like so. Okay, and then I will just redo all the stitches that I need here. Chain 1 and work this last stitch. And as you can see here, the yarn changed right where I want it to be. Not perfectly, but it's good enough for me. Okay? Sometimes it happened perfectly, but sometimes not, and it's fine. Now for the next part, we're gonna switch from the 3.5mm crochet hook to the 6.5mm crochet hook, okay? So we put that loop onto a new hook and put this away. So now we are going to turn the work and work a chain 3. For the ruffle or the lower part of the piece, we are working with a really big hook compared to the yarn, so I would recommend working with light tension. Yarn over. We're going to work into these chain 1 spaces that we did in the previous row. So we double crochet into the chain 1 space. Just insert your hook right there, bring our loop with 3 loops on the hook like so, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, okay? And then 2 double crochet in here. Okay, and then 1 double crochet in here. Okay, and then 2 double crochet in the next chain 1 space, and then 1 double crochet in the next chain 1 space, 2 double crochet in the next one, right? That's how it should look like. Okay, and we repeat that all the way until we are closer to the cup. So I'll meet you there. Here I have 2 spaces left until the cup section. So because we did 2 double crochet here, we're gonna do 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochet in the next one. Alright, here on the cup section, we're gonna do 3 double crochet and 2 double crochet. So this one we do 3 double crochet, 2, and then 3. Okay, and then the next one would be 2 double crochet. Okay, and then 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's already a little wavy like so. We're gonna repeat the same thing all the way, and I will meet you somewhere here. Now from here, we are going to do 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet. So let's do the 2 double crochet, then 1, then 2, then 1, and repeat that all the way until the end, and I will meet you here, okay? Here's 2 double crochet, so I do 1 double crochet in here, and then 2 double crochet in the last space, like so. Okay, now we're just going to turn the work, and then again work a chain 3. So as you remember, for double crochet, we are not going to work in the first stitch because it already has this chain 3 in the beginning. Count and treat it as a stitch, right? So if we work in here, it will be an increasing, which we don't want here. So the first double crochet will be put into the second double crochet, like so. Okay, and then we are just going to double crochet into each stitch across. So just insert the hook under the V on top of the next stitch, like so. This one, okay, and just like that. So let's keep double crocheting into each stitch across, just like that. It will be the same all until the end, and make sure you don't skip any stitches on the way. Just find the body of the stitch inside the hook under the V, like so. You can see the V next to each other. Make sure you don't skip any, and I will meet you here by the end of the row so that we can do it together. So here I am by the end of the row. Let's just finish these stitches together. Then here, because we count and treat this one as a double crochet, we're going to work a double crochet into the third chain of the chain 3, like that. Now we turn the work and we just do the same thing, chain 3, like so, yarn over and double crochet in the second stitch and double crochet into each stitch across. So from now we're gonna repeat pretty much the same thing until the lower part of the piece. It is as long as you like. It's long enough, and so please follow the written pattern on the screen. So this is how it looks like by now. Here's where we are going to put the back together with single crochet. Now you want to determine where you want the back to be. It's not that different, but I like this part more, so I want this part to be the front of the piece. So I will put the stitches in the wrong side of the piece. Put these two edges together. You don't want to close it all the way up. You want to leave like a slit, about 2 rows like that. You can leave a little larger slit like this. You use your clipper and you put it right where you want the stitches to stop. So here's where I want my stitches to be. Put this back onto your needle, and then here you want to insert the hook right into this chain next to this double crochet, right? So you still have this loop on your hook. Right there, bring our loop, doing that same loop through the loop on your hook, so it's like a slip stitch, right? Try to align the edges, and then you just take one loop on this piece, one loop on the other piece, and then bring our loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops for a single crochet. Take one loop here, one loop there, and single crochet like that, okay? And one loop here, one loop there, single crochet, I'll take this one and this one, and maybe just put one more here. So take this one and this one. Okay. So now when you put the clipper, put it away. Maybe 2 loop here for finishing, 2 loop here. So the last loop like that. And then you can just chain 1, cut but leave a long enough tail to weave in later, right? For the straps, we are going to switch back to the 3.5mm crochet hook. And you will need a piece of yarn that is about 4 meters. And I don't actually measure it, I just use arm stretch. Do about 4 arm stretch, 3 and 4. And Then you put the two ends of the yarn together and find the loop in the middle, right? So it's this one. And then here, you're going to insert your hook right in the middle stitch of the first row. You see that? Okay. That one, you just insert your hook right in there like so, okay? And then you put this loop on your hook, bring it through, and then you do a chain 1, okay? And pull it a little so that it would be nice and tight. Then you can just make like a really long chain until it is long enough or until you are at the end of your yarn. So once you at the end of the strand, you can just pull it out and fasten it really tight. So like that, okay? And you want the strap to be even. So here you can see that if you don't have enough yarn for the second one, you can actually just cut the first one. So if I need it to be here, I will cut somewhere here, about 3 chains like so, and then just okay. And the legs now should match like so. For the drawstring, if you don't have some ribbon, some fabric ribbon to use, it is fine. We're gonna do some chain string, which is just as good. You're gonna need to roll up another ball of yarn, like just a small one. It's actually not a lot, but you definitely need like around 10 meters. And this is because we need the string to be a little sturdier, so we want to double strand it, right? You put the yarns together from the 2 balls of yarn. Then you're just going to make like a chain string with 2 of them. Okay, so you're gonna need 2 pieces because you want the bow tie at the front, but you also still need the tie at the back. So you're gonna cut 2 pieces, and at each side you need as much ribbon as you need to make a bow tie. That should be good enough for me. And here the same on the other side, right? So I cut right here, and then I need another one the same length. Okay, then now what you're going to do is that start at the back, we are going to make a knot right here, right there, okay? Leave a long enough end to tie. That is enough for you to easily make the back tie, right? I think that should be enough for me. And then you just put the other end into the needle and thread it stitch by stitches like this. Be careful not to run it into the stitches or the loops like that, okay? It will mess everything up, so be careful. Just go in and out through the spaces like that, okay? All the way until you get to the center of the front. Like that. If you run through a loop or a yarn like so, it will stop there. So be careful. Until you get to the front like that, just run it into the middle space, like so. Okay, so it seems like I still have a lot of end here, so maybe I want to leave a little bit more here for the back tie. Let's make another knot and leave a longer end. Okay. All right. And then just fasten it right here so that it won't pull as you tie the back, okay? Okay, that should be good enough. All right, and you do the exact same thing with the other one. Okay, first you want to tie a knot here. We're gonna weave these ends in later. So, there we go. Make sure that they are the same length. before you make the knot. Like so. And then thread it into the chain 1 spaces until you get to the center, the front center again. Now you can pull so that it, and there you have it. You can make a bow tie here. I'm not very good at making bow tie, but it should be cute enough. You can also cut the end. You fold it in half like this, and then you cut from the bottom up a little, like so. And there you have that little fishtail. Or from the middle to the bottom, like so, right? After you put the piece on, you will tie the back bow tie, like so. Right? Okay. I'm gonna use this pad, and a lot of the time what we do is that we try to flatten the pad and then clip it onto the fabric and then sew it on, and it creates lots of problems since the pad is not flat, right? So we're gonna position the pad onto the fabric with two-sided tape. This will allow the fabric to follow the form of the pad. I think I'm gonna put 3 tape like this. The pad has 3 sides, right? So I'm gonna put on. Okay, so maybe we need to tear this first. Is it running? It's running. Yep. And this one, like so, and then another one right there. And don't worry, because we can remove it later. We're just going to make some really simple stitches, and then we can remove these tapes later, I promise. So you try to position it in the middle of the cup, of the crochet cup, nicely, and try to make the fabric follow the shape of the pad, like so. Okay? And you want to check at the front, see if there's any problem. If there's no problem at all, like that, nice and even, like so, then we can use the needle and the thread to make some stitches. And I'm just gonna do some simple stitches. So first, we need a knot at the end of the thread, like so, right? And then you first run it. I will make some stitches at this corner, and this corner. So first this one, like this, so that the knot will not show, okay? And then take some yarn in the, of course, on the surface of the back of the piece, right? Like that. Right where you, next to where the thread is sticking out. Like that. And you just do that for like 3-4 times. Ouch. It's okay. 2 and maybe 3. Alright, and then you go to this side, like that. And then you pick a stitch right there. Just take a little bit of yarn, as much as you need, but not too much that the thread show up in the front of the piece, right? So that's 2. And then 3. Like that. Okay, and when I think that it's enough, I don't know how to finish sewing, but I usually just like doing some cycle like this for about 5 times. And I never have any problem, but if you have a better way to do this, please tell me down in the comment. And I cut the thread. Okay, and check the front. There's no problem. Then we are good to go. Then you repeat the exact same thing here. Be careful not to stretch the fabric or do any strong forces onto the crochet fabric. It would distort the form. So just follow it gently and make the same stitches here and here. And I'll meet you when we're done, okay? Alright, so here we are. And now you can just remove the tape like so. And there you have it. Okay, we do the same thing here. Okay, I will show you how to weave the ends in because it's very important that you do this properly. And I put some note on the screen. But basically, you don't want to run the ends in a straight line. You want to put it up and down, twist with the stitches, with the loops, right? So let's say that you go here into the stitches, right? And then maybe you go down a little bit more. And then go up. Don't pull on the needle too hard or it will pull the stitches together, right? Just pull on it gently and stretch the fabric once in a while as you go. Like that. So with this technique, you don't actually need to like weave it in too many times, just a few times. Go round and round a few times. And then maybe here. 2, that. Okay. Then you can cut the yarn not too close to where it sticks out because you may cut the fabric, right? And then you can just stretch the fabric and it will tuck in. If it sticks out just a little like that, you can try to trim it carefully. And there you have it. Okay, we do the same with all the other ends. Maybe a little bit challenging here with this end, but it actually just the same thing. As long as you twist with the stitches, the yarn of the fabric. If you cannot go up and down, just go side to side, like that. A few times. And it's just impossible to unravel by itself at this point, right? You can cut it, and that's it. Okay, we do the same thing with all the other ends.